Hi, I'm Leslie Mack, an organizer and trainer. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, I now live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I founded the Ferguson Response Network in 2014. I am a founding member of the Black Lives of Unitarian Universalism organizing collective. I'm an organizer within the Movement for Black Lives, and most recently, the co-creator and creative director of Safety Pin Box. In short, I've done a whole bunch of work with Black organizers and also a host of projects and work helping white people become better allies to marginalized communities. As I mentioned, my most recent project was Safety Pin Box, and as a part of that company, I had a really unique opportunity to delve into how white people work on anti-racism work and why that's successful and why most often it is not. One of the lessons that I took from Safety Pin Box is that in this time, right now, when we have tear gas thrown at migrants at our borders and sexual assaulters in our highest courts, the work that white people need to do is not something that can happen solely online. And most importantly, it is not something that can happen without accountability to and direction from Black and Brown people. To that end, I am launching a new initiative, the Allies in Action Bootcamp. This is a hands-on 4-day, 3-night bootcamp with 4 main objectives for its white participants. The first is to get clear on exactly what their work is in the world as anti-oppression white people. The second is to connect with other white people who are interested in doing anti-racism work and building a more free society. The third is for them to develop a personal and collective anti-racism plan so that they can put their lessons into action in the real world. And lastly is to learn directly from Black women and non-men organizers. Now, if you know anything about my work, you know that I do not do work solely with white people that doesn't have a direct benefit to Black organizers. And Allies in Action Bootcamp is no different. I'm really excited to share with you that every seat in the Allies in Action Bootcamp also will cover the cost of one Black woman or non-man organizer to attend my summer 2019 organizer healing retreat. So what that means is when you come and you learn with me, you're also giving the gift of healing to an individual later on in the year. So what are the details and what is this boot camp all about? First of all, where is it taking place? I mentioned that I live here in Charlotte, North Carolina, where it's beautiful. And so we are going to be going to the Highlands of North Carolina in the mountains for the Allies in Action Boot Camp. It is going to be held March 28th through the 31st. Like I said, 3 nights, 4 days. And what do you get? What's included in the boot camp? Your lodging, so you'll be staying in lodging at the Mountain Retreat Center in Highland, North Carolina. Your meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner each day. We're going to do lots of small group work together, which is included. A copy of my amazing friend Crystal M. Fleming's book, How to Be Less Stupid About Race. And this is something that will come to you as soon as you are registered because we want to have everybody read this before camp begins. And lastly, the meat of the boot camp will be 6 hands-on workshops that I'll be teaching to all of the participants. And why don't I segue into telling you some more about each of those workshops? The very first workshop that we're going to do together is called Understanding White Supremacy Culture. And here's where we delve into the different characteristics of white supremacy culture. Things like perfectionism and either-or thinking, or one of my favorites, or least favorite, depending on how you look at it, worship of the written word. And so what we're going to do is we're going to dissect all of those different pieces of white supremacy culture and, more importantly, really delve into how they show up even in anti-racism spaces. So often white people get involved in anti-racism work and they mess up because they haven't taken the time to root out the ways that white supremacy culture lives within them. So they bring all of these white supremacy culture laden activities and sensibilities into anti-racism work and are met with a brick wall because those things do not match up. In our second boot camp, and I'm going to quote my good friend Kayla Reed from Ferguson, Missouri, who says that learning that racism and white supremacy exists is not an end goal for white people. And so I call this workshop Defining the Work. We delve into what I have called a tried and true process for moving white people from education, which is you know about a thing, to action, which is you're actually doing something about that thing, by ensuring a multifaceted understanding of where your personal work lies as someone committed to anti-racism work. Workshop 3 is just 3 words. Solidarity requires accountability. And in this workshop, we tackle what true accountability looks like and why this crucial piece of anti-racism work is often overlooked. Lastly, we'll talk about some mechanisms that you can utilize to put accountability into place in your real life. In workshop 4, it's all about power mapping for anti-oppression impact. And we dissect the ways that power manifests itself in our lives and also talk about how important it is for effective allies to have a good handle on where their power lies in their lives and communities. Our 5th workshop is actually a pretty fun one because you cannot do this work of dismantling white supremacy in a vacuum. This is soul work and it requires connection. And so in workshop 5, we're going to work on building your anti-racism squad. In this really hands-on workshop, we talk it through and develop what different pieces of your anti-racism squad you need to fill out and what you already have in place. Our very last workshop together is called Creating Your Anti-Racism Action Plan. And learning in this day and age without action is pretty useless. And so when you leave camp, you will leave with this personal anti-racism plan that you'll be able to implement as soon as you get back to the real world after camp is completed. I don't want anybody coming to this camp and not leaving with an impact in their lives. Changing how they live in the world, changing how they engage anti-racism work, and becoming better allies to the Black and brown organizers they encounter every day in the work that they're trying to do. So, if you're ready, go to lesliemack.com. You can sign up for one of the very limited seats. We've already filled quite a few of them, but there are a few left. Again, lesliemack.com, and you can join me in the Highlands of North Carolina on March 28th through 31st, 2019. And once again, remember, every seat in this boot camp also covers a space in the Organizer Healing Retreat that's going to take place later this year. Thanks, and talk to you soon.